Welcome to Elite Expert Insider Podcast, where we will inspire, motivate, and educate entrepreneurs, innovators, and growth seekers. Brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, making the best and brightest in the industry #1 best-selling authors. 80% of people say they want to write a book. We're assuming that's the same for you. If so, contact us at www.eliteonlinepublishing.com and make your book a reality. Hey, Melanie Johnson here along with Jenn Foster. How you doing, Jenn?
Doing great. It's a good day today.
Yeah, it's a good day to get in shape, It's a good day to be fit, to feel healthy, to feel energized. And you know what? I have had these things under my arms, these bat wings. My kids like to grab them and make jelly out of them, and it really is annoying. So we're going to learn how to get rid of those today and how to be fit over 50. And even if you're not over 50, all of these things apply to you, okay? Start doing them now. But we're going to talk about being fit over 50. We have Debra Atkinson with us today. But before we do that, Jenn, show them we have a fitness journal that I think is just awesome.
Yeah, we have a few. You can go to elitejournals.com, and we have a few journals there, or you can just type in Elite Fitness Journal on Amazon, and we have a bunch of different covers, and inside you can track your food and track your exercise and your goals.
Hold that one up again. I'm going to read the title to it because I love that cover. It's called Get Fit in the Gym, Lose Weight in the Kitchen. Get fit in the gym, lose weight in the kitchen, right? So it's all about what you put in as well as moving the body. So we're going to talk about moving your body, getting in great shape. Debra Atkinson is an author of a bunch of books. So just too many to mention. She's authored so many different books. She's got You Still Got It, Girl, Hot Not Bothered, Navigating Fitness After 50, How to Make Every Woman Over 50 Want You. Is that what it is? How to Make Every Woman Over 50 Want You. That's all right. All right.
That's a good one.
We're gonna
that one's for trainers.
Thanks for coming today, Debra.
Hey, thanks for having me. You guys are fun. And I so get this. I just had that conversation the other day. You're driving in the car and your teen or your 20-something flaps that. It's like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Well, tell us, Debra, a little bit about yourself and how you got to be this expert at fitness.
Oh, wow. So you want the dirt. Okay.
Yeah.
I started out in graphic design a long time ago and decided, at that point, I was starting to get into fitness myself, and everybody around me smoked and drank and had to stay up all night to do graphic design projects. And I was like, I just do not fit here. So I stuck one foot over here, took a bunch of coursework, and decided I want to make people feel the way my instructors right now are making me feel when I walk out of class. And it was not as much about the physical change. It was about I feel like I can do anything. I've got confidence. I hold myself differently. I think people notice when you walk into a room, they ask things like, did you get your hair cut? But it's really just the way you put your shoulders back, you open up, you hold your head higher. That's what I wanted to give people. And I came into working with midlife women after being here for 30 years, working in fitness, and realized what a niche, because they're being overlooked. They're not yet geriatric. They don't need chair aerobics, and they want to be sexy, feel good, get rid of that brain fog, but nobody's catering to them. We're trying to put them in boot camps, or we're trying to give them chair yoga. And so we need to pay attention to them, and there's such demand, and they have so much good to give still, that we need to make them feel good enough to do it.
Love that.
I'm over 50 and proud of it. And you're so true. It's like you go to the boot camp and you're beating your body, and I just feel like, oh, this hurts. This doesn't feel like it's good for me. And like you say, I'm not ready for the chair yoga. I want something that kind of nurtures my body and brings muscle and helps make me stronger and more energy, but without beating myself up, so to speak. What are some of your routines that you love to do?
The biggest thing is, if we're looking at what should I do, and we're, over 50, anybody who is, we grew up on the cardio equipment, right? Or going to cardio classes. We were the cardio queens. It's hard to get that out of our head. Yeah. But the one thing that I would say I love to do that probably gives me the most benefit in the least amount of time is strength training. And there are a couple nuances about that we've really got to pay attention to. It's not just lifting. We have to lift to fatigue. And that's kind of what you were talking about, going to boot camp, beating yourself up. Any exercise can make you tired, but what we need right now is the ones that make us better. And that's a big difference between just feeling tired, like that was a great workout, and did you reach muscle fatigue? Because that's what changes the muscle, changes the metabolism. And if we don't have that, we just kind of get more tired and we can easily get run down. We've got aging parents and we got young kids, some of us, and sometimes it's teens or adolescents still on the credit card, right? And we're kind of between that, and we have a lot of ways we can get tired. What we need is just getting better, getting stronger, feeling like we're more resilient.
Well, let's dive into that a little bit. So whether they have a gym membership or they have a couple free weights at home, what would someone do to get started doing that? Like, they have the 10 pounders or the 5 pounders, or maybe they have a kettlebell. What would you suggest they do, and what does that really mean to get to fatigue?
Great question. So first of all, it takes a lot less time than you think it does. So looking at the bullseye. So you've got the middle, and then you have a little more extracurricular activity, and then you have a little more. So if you are really tight on time, I say there's the big 3. It's a leg exercise, and it's a push and a pull exercise. Those are major muscle groups. And even if you want to get rid of this, you can't start there, or you may not see the results. So we want to do a chest press, for instance. That's a push, or a push-up. A rowing activity, bent over row with those weights, will work at home. And then a squat or a lunge. And if you can't, because you're watching and your knees are just saying, no, we're not going there, you can use an exercise ball on the floor. Lie on your back and do a bridge up with your hips and a hamstring curl. A lot less stress on the knees and the hips, and you've covered that big area of lower body. Those 3 are probably your best friend for metabolism boosting. So fatigue, to me, here's how that goes. You want to lift the heaviest weight you can comfortably. And that means both so your joints appreciate you after you're done, and so that you don't feel vulnerable, like you're going to get hurt, because we don't want you thinking that while you're exercising. So if you do a lighter weight, you have to do more repetitions. If you do a heavier weight, you do fewer. So I can't tell anybody watching what weight should I lift. It's all about, pick it up, and let's see if you can reach fatigue between 15 and 20 repetitions if you're starting. And if you have aches and pains doing that, let's go a little higher with your repetitions, a little lower with your weight. But reaching the point where you're lifting and the last one feels like, I'm starting to cheat a little bit. I'm starting to use something I shouldn't use. That's fatigue. And temporarily you need to stop. And it's not going to cause a lot of soreness, but it will cause a lot of change in the muscle before you have that next workout. And that's what makes the definition and the metabolism go a little higher.
I love that. I love how you said just start with what's comfortable, but also is hard. Like not picking up that 50-pound weight and trying to do, one of these and you're lifting it behind your head and dropping it, or what are they called? Black eyes or whatever. Not a good idea. But start where you're comfortable and get to that fatigue. That's great.
Exactly. And I'm sure by the time we're 50, I don't know about you, Melanie, but most of the women I work with, we've had a great life. We played a little, we worked a little, and, it might be a shoulder, it might be a knee, it's giving you a little trouble. And so, there are some joints and exercises where you're going to have to go a little lighter, but that doesn't mean you can't see results by getting to fatigue, doing a few more with it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse, and there's no reason to think that's going to get me injured if I do that. There's a safe, sweet spot for everybody.
You know what? I like it that it's those, just to get started, those 3 things, because the excuses, I don't have time. You can do all those things that you said right there in your house.
Yep.
And that probably wouldn't even take more than 15 minutes to do.
You can do it in 10. You can do it in 10.
Yeah.
So you do one, if you're a beginner, one set of each of those today would probably be good. Yeah. All you want to do is tell yourself, I can do this, and I did it, and I created a habit. I'm good to go. And the next time, a couple of weeks from now, you might do 2 sets. But my favorite routine is take those 3, do each of them 3 times. So you do ABC, ABC, ABC. And if you take a few seconds between switching, because you know what you're going to do, you're done in 10 minutes.
I love that.
Jenn and I have a thing we call the 3x3, and
Yeah.
we put it in our fitness journal, and it's the same thing, the 3x3, the 3 exercises 3 times, and that is so true. Now, one of the benefits, ladies, I know that we might have some guys watching here too, but you might want your lady to do that. Those push-up things, especially when you're over 50, part of our body, our upper body, like our boobs start to sag. Well, you start doing those push-ups and it just lifts those boobs right back up. I'm telling you. So that is a great benefit to do that. And then we were talking earlier. So you got the flabby under the arms, but I was like, what the heck is the stuff that's hanging over my bra? How do I get rid of that? Like, where did that come from? And it's just like this cheesy stuff. You're like, ah! So what are some tips on that?
So a couple things. Yeah, and you got to realize it's all about hormone balance. So it is not really about calories in and calories out. It never was, but that was the best science we had at one point. So it may be if you're highly stressed. I'm going to throw this in. Doing yoga actually may help you get over a hump of not seeing tone or of losing weight if you're weight loss resistant, because stress gets in the way of you losing weight. So think about that. But what's this all about? It's about testosterone, believe it or not. So it has to do with your balance of testosterone. When you start going through changes, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, the sex hormones, are kind of dwindling and tanking. And it could be either because it's too low or too high, believe it or not, relative to the other hormones. So a couple of things. Here's how you get testosterone whipped back into shape. You got to leave sugar and alcohol alone. So it's a little food related. And you got to leave that long, slow, slogging aerobic activity out, because that also tanks testosterone. So by the way, testosterone is related to libido. So as we're talking, just, if in the bedroom or the boardroom, you want to be a little bit more powerful, you need some testosterone. So you've got to kind of abide by these. A little heavier weight, and you want to do interval training 1 to 2 times a week, as opposed to that long, slow stuff. We're so used to 45 minutes to an hour, on the elliptical or jogging or walking. Shorter is better, but not more. 1 or 2 times a week is so much better than trying to do it every day. So you've got to kind of make it count when you do it. Don't do more of it. So specifically for those areas, right? So pay attention to the big picture with testosterone. Boxing is great. There's some muscles under there. So what we want to do is kind of tackle toning the muscles, tightening the muscles up, so that the fat lies on top and is not the thing that we're seeing. So punching gets this muscle. It's called the serratus anterior back here. So doing some boxing at home, and air boxing, you don't have to have gloves. You can just punch. It's a little softer on the knees too, so it's a good one.
Like Taibo back in the day, right? Taibo.
Yeah, Taibo back in my day. Yes. Yeah. It's still the day, right? And doing like being in a plank position. So think of a top of a push-up pose and doing some rowing activity from that position. So you might pass a weight off, pick one up, put it down, hand it off to the other hand and come back down. So in that position, you got a lot going on. All of the muscles in your back are working, and you're working harder on one side while you're doing it. Can you see that in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those are 2 great ones.
That's great. My sister is a Zumba trainer, and she trains at some senior citizen centers here in Utah. And it's really fun. I actually went a couple times. And those ladies kick my butt. And it is almost like interval training sometimes on the songs that she chooses, because you'll be going for 2-3 minutes, and then we'll do a slower song, and then do a faster song. And it is really fun to do that kind of cardio. That's only 30 minutes or so, and you're not doing it for a really long time, and you're going in intervals and
get a little break.
Intervals for people, because some people might not know what you mean by interval training.
Yeah. Okay. So that is, working for a very short time, as hard as you can, and then following it with a break. So let's say, as opposed to if you're over 50, what we grew up doing was, warm up, elevate your heart rate, get to that zone heart rate where you're burning fat, and then you're going to stay there until your workout is done. That's kind of what we're all so used to. Interval training really progressively warms you up, takes you a lot higher. So let's talk. I have an infamous scale, 0 to 10, okay? 0 is sitting on the couch. 10 is vomiting. We don't want to go there, okay? But you get the idea. That's how hard you're working. Super breathless. I absolutely want to break. We want to get you to about an 8 or a 9. So for 30 seconds or for a minute, you're going to go as hard as you can. So you might be walking up an incline if you're walking outside as far as you can, or going faster, either or. And then you're going to back down for at least equal that interval or more, especially if you're a beginner. Mm-hmm. So just throwing out there, many of you have heard of Tabata, and that is working for 20 seconds and resting for 10. That original research was done on elite bikers who were working at 110%. Most of us who are beginners, that's not a good place to start. We need more rest than we have work interval. So you should feel totally recovered and totally ready to rock that next interval as hard as possible. You want to earn it, so you do want to work hard.
That's great advice. Great advice. So I loved how you broke that down, because I think that makes it much more clear for everyone. It gave us more specifics on how that is. Let's talk about metabolism a little bit. Our metabolism changes as well as our hormones. Give us some advice on metabolism.
Yeah, well, our metabolism changes because of hormones in part, but we're not broken, so we can get it back. A couple of things we want to do is pay attention to the strength training. So we start losing muscle mass at about age 25 or 30. We don't know exactly where it happens for you or for me, but at 25 we peak in our muscle mass. And then if we're not lifting weights, it starts to go down. We're losing it easier than we're keeping it, and certainly then we're gaining it. And again, when we hear research studies, we talk about what we read and what we see as, oh, the research says this. What we have to remember is that's talking about research that was done a while ago, and it doesn't have to be true. It's only true that we lose muscle mass naturally as we age if we're not doing something about it. We need strength training, and we need the building blocks of muscle to recover, which is protein. So adequate protein helps at the right type in the right timing. So strength training is your best friend for metabolism. So truth is, you can increase your metabolism with strength training so much better than cardio. So you boost calorie burning while you're doing cardio, but not so much after. You boost your calorie burning not so much during weight training, but for hours after. So at the end of the year, if you're ever choosing, I only have time for one and I'm due for both, do the weight training, because that will give you a higher metabolism by the end of the year.
Great advice.
Very good. I love it. Well, I love that I love the saying in one of your books that says flipping it on its head. So kind of tell us a little bit about that.
You know, the part that I can give you exercises, but we have to expect something different than we've seen for our grandparents and our parents. So it's flipping our idea of what does it mean to be 50? What does it mean to be 60? And what does it mean to be 70? So if we believe we will be physically able to do anything we want to do with the people we love doing it with, that will help us tremendously choose the right things. It's not about being, appropriate for your age or acting your age. It's all about ability. And we know I've moved from the Midwest to Boulder, Colorado, where 80-year-olds are still starting to do their first triathlon. And it's exciting that people move to a place to be surrounded by people who are thinking that way. And that makes a big difference. So the internet becomes so important because no matter where you are in the world, you can surround yourself with communities and groups of people thinking the way you want to think or the way you are thinking now a lot easier. So I love that for that reason. That totally, we've got to flip, you think of the rocking chair as kindling, right?
I love it. And I love now, so when you're saying surround yourself by the right people and surround yourself with that, so YouTube is your friend. Debra is all over YouTube. So if you want to be surrounded by her, look up her videos. You can start your day, end your day, have her in the middle of your day and do her routines to inspire you. So that's true. So don't think that you're in this vacuum. That's a really good point.
Yeah, so true. There are a couple studies done by a few people back in the 90s, even before it was popular, about the difference of not just doing the exercise. So let's say you are strength training or you are doing cardio, but if you believe this is actually helping me thrive, this is helping me age better, this is helping me boost my metabolism, that results will be better. They've done it with hotel maids who just, that's what their activity was, and they separated them into two groups. One group of hotel maids was told, what you're doing counts. Cleaning 8 hotel rooms a day is activity, and it will help reduce your cholesterol and your blood pressure and your body fat and your weight. And the other group, they just kept telling, you need it, it's good for you, and if you do exercise, it will do all of those things. But they didn't tell them what they were doing helped. So at the end of the 8 weeks, they didn't change it all, but the group who was told what they're doing counted actually did lose more weight, improve their blood pressure and their cholesterol. It's amazing what the brain will say to the rest of your body.
Yeah, mindset, right? And what you put into your brain. I love that. I love that. Well, tell us where people can go to find you, where they can get more information.
Absolutely. Flipping 50, and it's all words spelled out, no spaces, flipping50.com, and for free gifts. So if you want to get started and you're not, or you need to restart, do /5, the number day flip, and I'll send you 5 videos in a row, one day at a time, so that you can do a little cardio, you can do a little strength training right in the privacy of your own home and prove to yourself, I've got time to do this.
Yeah. No excuses. No excuses. People spend more time cruising Facebook for the 10 minutes that you could change your life. So do that there. I love it. So make sure you please look at her videos, get her books. I think it's so inspiring. I mean, just if you're listening to the audio, you can't see Debra, but Debra is just like the picture of health. And she's just rocking it. She's got a rocking body. So everyone can have it. There's no excuse. So thanks for joining us here today on our podcast. Remember to subscribe to our podcast. And if you'd like a little help with that, you can also look at our fitness journal. Jen's going to hold it up right now.
Yeah.
And I love it's called Get Fit in the Gym, Lose Weight in the Kitchen. And it helps you keep track of those exercises Debra is going to have you do, and as well as what you're putting in your mouth every day. So check those out on Amazon and get Debra's book on Amazon as well. And we'll see you next time. And if you're looking to publish a book, remember us at Elite Online Publishing.
We'll see you next time. You can get this at elitejournals.com or just type in Elite Fitness Journal on Amazon. Thanks, Debra, for being here, and we'll see you again.
Thanks so much for having me, gals. I'll see you in the gym.
Yeah.